Live at the virtual Talladega Superspeedway, drivers are on the grid for B-Main action tonight as we get round 16 underway on the Season 5 Championship with the iSuperSpeedway.com Racing Series. It's the iSuperChase. It is the round of 6. 4 drivers have gone home, and the 2-race Superior 6 round. It begins here tonight. Before, though, we go points racing, we have to get to the A-Main. B-Main on tap for 24 laps, and we're happy to have you with us on LSRTV through iRacing Live tonight. Evan Pasoko, Andy Kessler, along with Cisco Scarmoose, the top side with you at LSRTV's executive producer, Laura Lawson, and the production hauler, pushing the buttons, getting everything rocking and rolling tonight, guys. Not quite there yet. We got to get through the B-Main first, but we've made it through the first round. We're into the second round, and you got to finish here if you want to make it to the big show to get those points.
Yeah, pressure was off for those top 6 that made it through this round for about 5 minutes at the end of last week's race. Well, actually, maybe a couple hours after all the conversations that we had to determine who was in and penalties and things like that. So after that, though, the pressure turned right back on as these guys got set to come here for tonight's race. A short race, 50-lapper. A mistake can cost you a lot here early in this race. So these guys got to mind their business, play it smart, and be ready to cash in when lap number 50 comes in the A-Main. But first, they got to make it through this round. It looks like 20 plus 1 is going to be the field. So we'll see what happens. Top 20 finishers plus 1. So we'll see what happens when this thing gets underway here. We got 1 lap around this circuit to get it done.
Yeah, we're about to get set to go underway. Basically, don't be in the bottom 7 and bottom 8, really, if you don't want to have to worry on that provisional. And things will be a lot easier for you going forward on tonight. 24 laps for the B-Main. That'll give us 64 miles. Our A-Main later on tonight, immediately following this qualifying transfer race. Going to be 47 laps at 125 laps. We just saw Tom Moustakis actually up front. He went on to win the truck race. He's trying to get 2 done tonight. And he said that he didn't have his kid's face on the truck. Well, he's got it on that 210 Toyota Cisco. He'll lead us to the green flag here. A driver that's made quite the splash since he entered this series, but not a driver in the iSuperChase. So not only do we talk about the spoilers, but now you have 4 chase-worthy drivers in Busilia, Chaburko, Passini, and McEachin that were sent home last week that are still out there on track. They're going to be a factor tonight, mixing it up with those 6 guys that are really still in this thing.
Yeah, absolutely. We're seeing Passini. He's kind of back in the 13th spot. You know, a bunch of these guys, they're going to, they want to rebound from last week and have a great run right here, and this is a perfect time to do so. You know, like we said, we haven't run here at Talladega yet with the new build. Might be a couple of handling characteristics, but it should be interesting here as the pace car gets set to hit pit road.
We were around at a 4. The pace car will get down and out of the way, and then we'll work through the trial for just a little bit. That extra 0.16 miles makes up this Talladega Superspeedway in comparison to Daytona. The start-finish line, a whole different ball game. Could that be a major factor tonight? Again, we're glad to have you with us tonight on iRacing Live for the iSuperSpeedway.com Racing Series iSuperChase. B-Main action for the round of 6. Green flag in the air. We race at Talladega and get tonight's feature race 16 underway, side by side to turn number 1 for the first time. Everybody trying to get low.
Top side starting to check up right there behind the 82 of Dan Harrington. At about the 6th spot on the outside lane right there. They were checking up there on that restart, but that top side, only 2 guys currently right now. They're able to stick with the leader. Harrington, though, making a charge back up. He's got Lessentine right behind him and Servant just behind her.
We imagined it to stay 2 wide for quite some time as they double them up for the restart, and they stay 2 abreast throughout the most of the field. Inside, good by 1, now 2 car lengths at a turn number 4. Tom Moustakis, the 10 of Ryan Keese, the 10 machine, second car line to the bottom. Thought about jumping out to the outside of the racetrack already. That's where passes will be made tonight. The guy that pushes the guy on the bottom out in front, so those 2 cars down low. Get a gap to that 3rd car in line. You jump out of line, you leave him, you get a lot of speed. And it's not going to be that move, though, early. Ryan Keese, he'll hold his spot in line. He'll maintain that number 3 spot through 1 and 2. Challenge for the race lead. Top side, the 41 machine. Tight call there with the 10. That's Ryan Pilen digging. His push comes for the 92 of Rod Benton.
And right behind Mitten is the 82 Harrington. He's bringing, like Andy said, Lessentine and Servin up on that outside. Looks like they formed up. They're going to try. It doesn't look like they can do it through the corner, but it looks like they're getting great runs down these super stretches and down the front stretch here. So let's see if they can make something happen. The car's looking a little wiggly. 11 looked to the inside there. He wasn't able to, made sure not to get into the back of the 10 there. Looks like they'll make it through the tri-oval for now, but these cars looking really not happy right now as they're pounded round.
And they're checking them up top side in turn number 1. They'll check up and scatter, go 3 wide to get around that. 97 degrees Fahrenheit on that racetrack. It is a very unpredictable race car. You're going to have to fight her. Keese jumps out of line. The 10 machine. He'll elect to leave the bottom, go top side down the back. He'll get the push, beautifully executed. Ryan Keese to the race lead at lap number 3. Give the assist to the 41 of Ryan Pyland. That's a textbook move from the bottom.
That it is. We see that week after week. I think these guys really started to catch on to that about halfway through this season. As the way to be the leader, get that push, and then basically leave that top sign out but to be by themselves again. But as that field checked up there on that outside lane, it really pushed things back way further back there for the 72 Jose Ramirez. He was the one that ended up had to drop out a line up into that third lane, and he loses another 5 or 6 spots there. Able to get back in line now currently, as these cars really getting a lot of movement out of them. As Moustakis wants to lead, he goes back up to the top side, gets the push from Pyland, has him clear, but decides to stay up for the time being. Now he drops down in front. He wants to lead back.
It'll cause a small checkup on the outside and the inside, but Moustakis puts the move to the 10 that the 10 just did to him. So put the 210 back in front at lap number 4. The tenure up at the front of the field for the 10 of Ryan Keese was short-lived. Moustakis back in front of this one already to this point. The new setup that these guys are working on is the 10 going to go topside, and they're going to play tic-tac-toe like this all night long if they can. 41 wants to leave them, though. 92 going to work with them. They need the 12 to go 3 wide. If that 12 goes with the 10, Keese might stand a chance, and that's what happens when you say no. The 41, the 92, they will get around the 10. The 41, though, he ducked down in line too early. He's going to leave Mitten abandoned outside.
And Mint's going to go straight to the back right now. The next car right behind him is that $28 General Camry of Shane McEachin. McEachin's going to pick up Mitten here, and they're going to hope maybe to drop in on that top line and maybe try and ride for a little bit here. But I don't know if they'll be able to get it done, just them. But meanwhile, that 41 of Pyland, he's looking strong right there. He just needs a little bit of help from Keese in the 12, and it looks like he's going to get it there as they're getting a big run into one.
And falling back through the field, we continue to try to catch an eye on the second driver in that 3-wide tenure. It's the 92 machine. That's Rod Mitten way back, and he'll fall outside of the top 20. A checkup behind him as well. A close call with the number 28 machine back in the pack. It'll cause some damage to Shane McEachin's Dollar General Toyota. He was able to keep it in the fence long enough for traffic to get by. He ducks down in line. Does not cause any problems. We're still green at lap number 6. Side by side again up front, though. That 41 machine of Ryan Pyland, I'm not entirely convinced, Andy, that he left Mitten out there on purpose. I think they were both trying to get around. He could have done it on purpose, but it was just a little bit too small of a gap for Mitten to jump into. And the good news is, if you're on the flip side of that, if you're the 41 of Ryan Pyland, you led that last time by on the outside of the racetrack. You got the 10 of Ryan Keese pushing you, who you just tried to leave out to dry. So I'm not sure how much the 10's going to help you.
Yeah, exactly. And I think the 41 was definitely hoping that they could get a bigger run, and that he could have came up there with him, but obviously that didn't happen. So it just Mitten was able to get back in line, but a lot further back in the field right now currently. And I'm sure Ryan Pyland wishes he was still up there with him, but like I said, their momentum just it collapsed at the right time for Ryan Keese, and that definitely slowed the hurt down for Ryan Keese, because it looked like he was going to be stuck in that sucker hole, as there's 3 wide right behind him there for this third spot. Look at Jorgensen trying to force his way up in there, trying to get everything he can. He's going to get right on the bumper of Pyland right now off of turn number 2. That's going to make him 3 wide for that third spot right there. Jorgensen, one name we haven't talked, or we've talked a lot about this whole season, but the only talks we've had of him was him getting involved in wrecks that were out of his control, and obviously missed the championship run this season here, and that's going to push Ryan Keese out to the outside. He's all by himself.
Talladega's got the room to stretch the legs, put the elbows up, and go at it, and they're 3 wide early. The driver now on the outside of the racetrack, the Ted machine going backwards. Ryan Keese was just in a good spot, and he's been getting picked on opening here. They tried to leave him. Now he'll get spit out of line. Not quite down through the Earnhardt Soccer Hole, but he'll go outside the top 20, basically in a couple hundred feet. So now he goes back there, everything changing. Topside, the outside has the advantage. Down the back straightaway, the lead to the 41 Orion Pyland. He does not duck in line yet. In fact, he'll bring the 88 of Jorgensen with him, behind the 82 of Harrington and the 12 machine of Corey Henry. All 4 drivers topside had enough room to get clear. Small hesitation can leave the 12 of Henry topside to lead the outside charge, but the 41, the 88, and the 82 are able to get down low.
And now it looks like that top line's going to be led by Corey Henry, and then the 55 of Ben Now's right behind him, and the number 1, the rookie, Chris Piscini, he's pushing those guys as well, S&T behind them. It'll be interesting to see. It looks like Jorgensen's going to go down the Earnhardt Sucker, although he's got no help unless S&T goes to help him, or will she go and help out the 1? I guess we'll find out here as we come out of the corner. No, she's going to stick to the bottom. I believe that's going to leave Nile and Piscini out to dry as they're going to go straight to the back there.
And we've seen times this year where 2 drivers are able to work together, make something to work topside against the amount of cars we see on the bottom and middle. Probably not. We'll see how it works. Going to be 15 laps to go in the B main, 10 down the next time by. 3 wide, still there, contact, oh, the 12! Corey Henry gets hooked in front of the field. A huge accident in turn number 4. Caution flag is out, and that, the definition of that, escalated quickly.
That absolutely was amazing right there, Evan. That car got off the ground, and there must have been 15 or maybe 20 cars that drove underneath him while he flipped. That could have been so much worse than what it could have been for the rest of the field. I mean, that was horrible for him. For Corey Henry, that was absolutely the worst thing that could have happened for him. But, man, there were a lot of lucky cars right there that went right underneath him, flipping in the air.
It was just a little bit of contact on the bumper. We talked about not being able to push into corners in this series. A little bit too comfortable between those two. Gets them on the left rear. And as soon as... I don't even think the 12 really overcorrected. It's just that the 88 was still on the bumper. It hooked him around. And, I mean, he plowed the fence. Good news is he did land on a couple of cars. I think, for the most part, everybody that he landed on is able to get away either with very minimum damage or no damage at all. Same thing can't be said, though, for the 12 of Corey Henry. He came back down, got launched up into the catch fencing off of the nose of the 36. I mean, that is a painful wreck for the 12 machine. That's one of those where you don't want your force feedback turned up too much because that'll bust your wheel.
Yeah, absolutely. And, this is going to be interesting here. A couple of these cars are probably going to have to come down to pit road. And that's got to be the first time, maybe a driver comes in and says, yeah, I got windshield damage, because I've never seen anything like that, Andy. The closest thing I saw was back during the old Dash race when we sent a couple of national cars out of the track here at Talladega, but that's the closest thing I've ever seen to that. I've never seen a car go flipping over the field like that.
That was just absolutely amazing. I think all the turbulence that was from those cars that they were making is what kept that car up in the air like that, but man, I don't know. We'll have to see if after he comes out of the infield care center if he's still alive, but that was a tough hit right there.
And I have had one time where I had my force feedback up and you get a huge wreck like that. It actually broke my wheel. It broke my earbuds and it broke my microphone all at once because the wheel moved so quickly. It ripped on the earbuds and it broke the wheel while doing so and broke the mic. And it was like a $400 street stock crash on iRace. And so you can tear stuff up. That's a hard lick. I do remember one time, maybe 3 years ago in this series, not technically iSuperSpeedway.com, but back when it was iSuperSpeedway Cup, I remember we did send a couple of cars over the fence in turn 3 in one of these feature races. But I mean, other than that, that's probably maybe not the biggest wreck we've seen all year because it was just one car, but that's definitely the most violent I think we've seen somebody go for a tumble.
Yeah, it's probably worthy of a picture, as long as he's still alive. If he comes out of the infield care center in a bag, then we're in trouble. We won't post that picture, but yeah, that was pretty amazing to see all them cars drive out right underneath him like that.
And the, I guess, rather obvious and unfortunate news for Corey Henry is that he's on pit road, and he's probably not going to advance to the A main. So he'll have plenty of time to look at the wreck over later on tonight. But that car, there's not a whole lot left of it.
No, there's
nor
not a whole lot. I mean, I'm looking down on pit road. The hood's gone. The front fender's gone. Yeah, it looks like a modified.
It's the Dark
rear
Knight.
end's gone. Yeah, I'd say that's heading to the junkyard after the 7.
If he had a Batman Dark Knight paint scheme, we could call it the Batmobile. It doesn't quite match up, but it's a tough break for Corey Henry. He's the only casualty in that. He'll obviously drop out of this race. He's not out of the race at the moment, but he is out from behind the wheel of that car. He's at the moment 2 laps down. We imagine that he'll come down 28th position at the end of the night. Other than that, we still have the other 27 drivers working on the lead lap. There is still plenty of drivers out there for some more big junk, but there's still plenty of drivers out there to keep things interesting. Lots of opportunities to make moves. We'll still have 12 laps to go for the restart. Normally, a caution flag really takes a big chunk out of these B mains. Rather quick caution. Still going to leave us with more than 10 to go. That's plenty of time.
Yeah, quick caution because nobody was a lap down except for the car that flipped now, but we don't have to worry about him. It's going to be a quick one, obviously, just because
there was no debris on the track because he wasn't on the track.
He's okay. We checked. All right.
I just went down to the infield care center. They said they got 35 minutes. They're going to have to repair the car, but Corey Henry has walked away from that.
That's it. If we're still here in the B main in 30 minutes. We'll give him the spot to the A8. He might qualify at that point. Lights off of the pace car. We're getting set to go back at it. A little bit of a change up front. It is going to be Ryan Pyland in control of the number 41 Haas Automation Chevrolet. Going to bring us back to it. Dan Harrington topside on the front row. The 82 will start second. Jorgensen, Moustakis, and Lessentine, the drivers inside of the top 5 for this first restart. So the first caution flag goes to extinguished. We head to the go zone. The American Ethanol green flag will wave out of the tri-oval, the field, in the hands of Ryan Pyland. On the loud pedal, underway we go. 12 laps to go to qualify for feature race 16. Oh, the 82, did he miss the gear shift? Big problems for Dan Harrington. It's going to check up the top side. There's your big junk.
Oh my goodness.
No caution.
No caution.
No caution? No caution. They're still going right now, and it looks like it's a 3-car breakaway for the lead right now.
3 cars survive.
Was able to make it through. Jorgensen and Pyland, looks like they're able to make it. Now caution's going to fly, but, oh, man.
iRacing threw the caution there. I was waiting for race control to automatically throw the yellow, which is typical procedure if there's an accident of 3 or more cars. That does not automatically trigger a caution flag. iRacing eventually throws it there. It was a little bit late. I mean, that was Kevin Harvick. I don't know what happened to the 82 machine there. Dan Harrington, I guess he missed the shift, because they were dead even to the start-finish line. But again, the start-finish line is well past where they restarted in the tri-oval. That car just died. I'm thinking maybe he went to shift to third and went to first. Yeah, that's what he's saying. Instead of actually shifting into third gear, he shifted into first. At that point, you're SOL, and it was a huge checkup behind him, and that took out about half the field. More than half the field.
I'll just say one thing right there. That's probably the one big wreck we've had all season, and we haven't said that the 88 was involved in it.
That's true. Mark Jorgensen Jr. was a name that we used a lot early in the season for good reasons, but since then, it has not been a fun ride for Mark. He was in the top 3 cars that get... there's probably more than 3 cars that got through it okay, but everybody else, their eyes were closed going through it. There was only 3 guys that were well out in front of it, and that would be Ryan Pyland, Mark Jorgensen Jr., and Stephanie Lessentine, who are going to go to 1, 2, and 3 on the racetrack. There's plenty of cleanup due down in turn 1, so we'll take a quick opportunity, step away, we'll bring you back for the final 10 laps in the B main as we get set for feature race 16, the Santa Big Sack Classic on iSuperspeedway.com Racing Series. It's part of the iSuperChase. We got more coming up on iRacing Live.
While lions are notorious for their voracious appetites, they spend a great deal of time feeding other creatures. In fact, lions will take great care to ensure there's plenty to go around. As you can see, they keep giving with utter ferocity. Bravo, lions, and bon appetit. Do good, be a lion.
Domino's TYJ Racing League is proud to announce we are now taking driver applications for our $2,500 purse inaugural season going green January 2016. At Domino's TYJ Racing League, you get paid cash, not gift cards or die casts. Cold, hard cash. You get paid for finishing 1st through 20th in our championship and 1st through 3rd, plus a lucky dog bonus in all of our 20 races, plus other cash bonuses. You're going to like the way you look. All the way to the bank. I guarantee it. Purse amount approximate, paid cash or iRacing bucks. Drivers carry less than $20. Report unsafe driving to local authorities. Apply today at Domino'sTYJRacing.com to see if you qualify for our league. And join our preseason Thunder tryout races Saturday nights at 8 p.m. through the end of 2015 to see if you have what it takes to make the cut and some cash.
In the outside, contact made. 56 slides it at a 4. Who's going to be at the stripe? Dead even. Give it to Ryan Truex. Truex is your winner over Tandy.
We're back live at the virtual Talladega Superspeedway. The light's still on topside on the American Childhood Cancer Organization Ford Mustang GT pace car, and we're getting set for what could be the final restart on this B main. A bit of a mix-up up topside. Ben Nile does not come down to the pit lane under the caution flag. That'll put the number 55 to the race lead. Same song and dance behind Tim. Ray Rittenau with the second does not pit, so the top two stay out. Everybody else down and get serviced, but all of that through, it'll put the 55 and the 87 to P1 and P2. Fuel is not a concern, guys, in this B main, so people are coming down to get a little bit of a handling advantage with fresh tires. I like the gamble by Ben Nile and Ray Rittenau at the moment.
Yeah, why not? Listen, you need to get into the A main. This is a way to do it. Puts Ben Nile 20 spots ahead of where he needs to be. So, barring any major mistake or something, he should make his way into the A main here tonight. So, not a bad call at all for him. Just hug that yellow line all the way around this track. He's only got to do it for about 7 more circuits. So, do that, and he'll find himself maybe possibly in victory lane and at the least inside the A main.
Once tonight's race wraps up, we still have 2 more races to go on the iSuperSpeedway.com Racing Series Season 5 calendar. The next 2 races, though, going to be coming in the New Year's, because next Friday we will have the night off for Christmas, evidently, and then the week following we're going to have the week off for New Year's. So have a little bit of time to kind of mellow out. These guys, though, are going to be a little bit anxious, I feel, to get back on track on the 8th of January for the final race in this round, the Superior 6. Both races taking place here at Talladega. Going to be the final endurance event at Talladega on the 8th, 82 laps here for the Altman's Designs 351. Then the week following at Daytona, under the lights, it'll be the finale in Florida 400 at Daytona. That's what we look forward to. as we mentioned earlier, and again, we'll get more in depth with the chase scenarios as the night goes on, but at this time, you gotta win to move on. It makes things so much easier because you notice, guys, that last week we had Christian Peterson win the first race of that round. Notice how we didn't have to talk about Christian Peterson in all the drama late? A win helps.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It takes your mind off. You don't have to worry about going in being, oh, do I want to try and gamble here or something like that. It just basically takes pressure on and say, hey, I can go out there and run however I want. If I want to win the race, I can do it. So it's going to be interesting here, but the pace car going to get set to pull off the pit road here, getting set to go green.
Could it be the final restart on the night? It'll give us still 6 laps to go. Quick caution, you'll get one more restart out of it. After 5 to go, the B-Maid would end under the yellow flag. Green flag flies, American Ethanol restart at Talladega. The 55 machine out in front. It's Ben Nile looking for a trip to B-Main victory lane. Challenge comes topside. Good run for Rittenauer. He's got help from behind in Mark Jorgensen Jr.
A couple veterans on that high side getting linked up right there. Right now, actually make that 3 veterans as you got the Frank Brasilia, the 94, didn't make the round this time by, but obviously looking for a win. Trying to steal some thunder away from these chase guys right now. Ben Nile, though, having a tough time keeping up with that top side. He's only got Ryan Pylan giving him a push right now. Lessentine just too far back right now to let that bottom side get any momentum. That's going to put Rittenauer up to that top spot on the bottom. Here comes Jorgensen, though, off a turn forward.
And he's going to put the pinch on him as much as he can, and he's got a lot of good help behind him. Frank Brasilia should have been in this race as a chase competitor. Not the luck that he was looking for at Daytona. Taken out in an accident with the lap car in front of him while inside of the top 5. Not fighting for a championship. He's still got 3 opportunities to take home some race win trophies. That's what he is for the rest of the season, and that's what he's doing topside, doing a good thing. Pushing that 88. You see, there's no help, though, for Rittenauer with the 87. He's got about a car length back to the 55. So Jorgensen not going to drop down right away. He stays up topside, and instead of just jumping down, he'll bring 3 cars between him and the 87. The 88 car, though, back out in front.
And it's looking to me like the 55 of Ben Nile. Looks like he didn't come down pit road there, and I think he has a little bit more damage than he thought he did. That car's not looking as fast as some of the rest of these cars out here. Meanwhile, looks like the 28 of McEachin's actually going to take a run at the lead here. He's got the 210 of Tom Mustakas right behind him. They're going to try and make a run at the leaders. They got a little help coming from the 43 of Lessentine, and Keese right behind her. They're going to try and make a run at the lead.
They challenged topside. Remember that 28 outside the top 20 in the wall, wrecking in the opening 5 laps? So he's inside of the top 5 right now. You can see some of the battle scars from that contact earlier on. A little bit of a beaten up race car right side. Not look at all that fresh. It's good enough, though, to be in this. My concern would be if that car is hurt at all, Andy, he's leading that outside line, which sucks. If he's behind, then he can suck up to somebody, no pun intended, and it helps with the draft. But because the car's damaged, it's not the most aerodynamically sound, he might slow down that outside lane just a little bit.
Yeah, and we see that right now over the last lap or so. He hasn't really been able to get past the 94 of Brasilia, even with Mustakas giving him a pretty decent push right now. So it obviously looks like that it's already started to affect that top side right now, and some of these guys behind Mustakas and Lessentine, they're going to have to figure out a different way to get around and maybe go 3 wide down one of these straightaways. So we'll have to see how it plays out as Lessentine and Ryan Keese try to get back up into that little top group right now. It's only 5 cars. There's just a small bit of separation, but the gap's closing in turn 3.
The next time by, going to be just 2 laps to go left at Talladega in the B main transfer race. Who makes it to the A main? Who doesn't make the cut? 20+1, the magic number. Well, right now, no drama. 20 drivers on the lead lap. The lucky dog, per se, or the final transfer spot based on a provisional, going to go to somebody that is off of the lead lap. So that battle not really affecting what's going on track. 2 laps to go. Good fight, though, for the checkered flag. Topside, Jorgensen pulling out in front. I feel like that 28's bogging him down just a little bit.
Yeah, but it looks like the 28's getting that run on, kind of going down the backstretch now. It looks like the upper line can get it done on the straightaways, but they can't really do in the corner, and it looks like they're not going to get a whole lot of help right now as Piscini and Wolford have taken a look to the outside of their line. They're going to run 3 wide. Meanwhile, McEachin dives to the bottom there. He's going to try and get to that bottom line, and now he's going to pull back up out of line. And it looks like Vasilia might be in the camper seat. No, there goes the 28 of McEachin. He gets a huge run from the 2010 as they come across the line. White flag in the air.
2.66 miles to go, and if you're getting down the line, it's because you're trying to set somebody up for you moving 3 and 4.
Yeah, it is, but right now Jorgensen holding pace right now with Busilia, 2 veterans down on that bottom side, able to hold off McEachin right now. They get a run down the front straightaway, but it just doesn't seem to be enough. Right now, out to the outside, though, there's Moustakis looking to make it 3 wide, chooses to get back in line right there. That's going to kill the momentum of the outside as they come through 3 and 4 for the final time.
Things going to get fun in front of them. Couple of lap cars that sit 2 wide. They got to get out of the way. It is old Mark Jorgensen Jr. off the final turn. Busilia going to peek to the outside of the racetrack. He opens up the door. They're going to be side by side for a second. No challenge. Top side wrecking behind. But Mark Jorgensen Jr., B-main winner at Talladega. Talk about getting back on track. The 88 wins it in Talladega. Quite a place to get things back on track as well with that number and that paint scheme on that car. Jorgensen gets the W. Vasilia, Moustakis, that's how they finished for 2 and 3. Moustakis put up a fight there at the end. Not enough to get that number 2 position. And with that, couple of late problems in this one. 18 drivers finished this race on the lead lap. Right now, 19th is Ramon Evans. 20th is Dan Harrington. These guys limping across the racetrack trying to get home in those 19th and 20th positions to get locked in. So there are about 30 seconds left until it's going to stop scoring at the start-finish line. It looks like the 83 is dead, though. Harrington is still trying to hustle around. We'll see if the 82 can make it.
Yeah, it's going to be close right now. It looks like he doesn't have a whole lot of motor left in that thing. He's going to try and limp it here. 14 seconds left. I don't think he's going to make it, but I think he's gone far enough now to the point where he should get scored here and be able to make it into the A main. So lucky for him, it looks like Servant is going to be, looks like the first car, at least still on track, who's not actually going to be able to make it there. He was trying to get ahead of Kelly Dahl there. Not going to happen, though. It looks like Kelly will move on to the A main as well.
So they'll be scored as the lap down, but luckily Ramon Evans, Dan Harrington involved in an accident, Andy, on the white flag. They still get the transfer spots through 19th and 20th. The provisional to be determined amongst Kelly Dahl, Paul Servant, Tommy Hall, Casey Malone, Josue Ramirez, Jeff Figlin, Daniel Ferguson, and Corey Henry. None of our chase drivers have to fall back on provisionals. All 6 of them doing pretty good so far.
That they are, and that's exactly what they needed to do, is just survive this, get into the A main for tonight, then go points racing. So good to see the 88 back in victory lane, and it all started with them not being in the wrong place at the wrong time for that big wreck. So good job by Jorgensen to work his way up from 9th to that, up into that top 3 area, and ultimately that avoided the wreck for him.
So the top 20 drivers: Mark Jorgensen Jr., Frank Vasilia, Tom Moustakis, Shane McEachin, Ryan Pilen, Stefan Alessantine, Ray Rittenauer, Ryan Keese, Ben Nile, Chris Piscini, Rodney Wofford, Kent Connolly, Dana Osborne, Jared Haggerty, Rod Minton, Donnie Girvitano, Sean Turner, William Roberts Jr., Ramon Evans, and Dan Harrington. The top 20 drivers that are going to the A main. Provisional to the 25, Daniel Ferguson will join them in tonight's feature. So as we step away, we get set for the first 47 laps in the Superior 6 round of the iSuperChase. The field is set. We got A main qualifying coming up in just a moment. More action in a few. You're watching LSRTV's coverage of the iSuperspeedway.com racing series, iSuperChase on iRacing Live. We're back live at the virtual Talladega Superspeedway. The B-Main action and formalities are out of the way, and we're set for round 16, Santa's Big Sack Classic at the Talladega Superspeedway, officially getting the round of 6 on the iSuperChase underway here tonight. Round number 1 of 2 in the round of the Superior 6. It's iSuperChase race 3 of 5, and we're glad to have you with us on LSRTV. Evan Pasocco, Andy Kassler, and Cisco Scaramuzza along for the ride with you. Let's take a look at where we sit in this third annual iSuperChase, the third season in which a chase will determine the champion, and it's the second year in a row. It is the elimination playoff bracket style format. Take a look at the chase grid. This is where we sit, guys. 4 drivers went home 1 week ago. Frank Basilia, Brandon Chaburko, both past champions in this series, no longer in it. Chris Bassini, the rookie, going home early, and Shane McEachin going home as well. We're left with 4 drivers. The top 2, 1 to get in, Josh Ball, Christian Peterson, Seth the Merchant, Jason Altmans, Josh Hanner, and Rodney Wofford, the 4 drivers that qualify in on points to this round. After tonight, after the 8th of January, the second race in this round, these 6 will go down to 3. Those 3 go to Daytona for a winner-take-all, but we cannot stress how important it is. We've said it all season, and if you've been tuning in all season on Friday nights, first, thank you, and second, sorry, because I know you're going to hate us for always saying it, but you got to win to get in. It is just so crucial.
Yeah, it is. With only 2 races to get it done and to make it to the next round, that makes just every lap that much more crucial for these guys, and no mistakes. I mean, you can't get caught in somebody's right. If you want a chance to win the championship, you almost have to run 5 flawless races. And so far, we got 6 guys that have ran 2 flawless races. So there's still a lot of work to be done for these guys. And, it all starts off tonight here for this quick little 47-lap race.
It's not all that long. The Super 10 round was 2 races at Daytona, so Super 10 or the Daytona round, however you look at it. The first race was a feature race, like tonight for feature race 16. You have a B main and an A main. It's the classic iSuperSpeedway format. And then the second race of that round was at Daytona. It was an endurance event as well. So tonight it's a feature race. B main out of the way. We got the A main still to come. For the second race of this round, it'll be an endurance event here at Talladega. As I mentioned, on January the 8th, that'll be 82 laps in the Altmans Designs 351. We'll close it out at Daytona a little bit later on, but these A-main races, they're significantly shorter, 47 laps in the middle. It's not the shortest A-main that we've seen this season. It's not the longest. I think it's just a little bit past your fuel window, Cisco. Based on people coming down and pitting in that B-main, though, I think that there's no question that people are going to come down to the pit lane just to get tires to help those cars out on the handling. Because, again, one thing we've seen with this new build is track temperatures through the roof, 97 degrees. It's pretty hot out there.
Yeah, it's pretty hot, and these cars are really loose. We saw it in the B main. These guys are, they even tagged the bumper, maybe unintentionally, and boom, we saw what happened to Corey Henry in the B main. I mean, he went for a wild ride right there, but it's just, it's a different kind of car for these guys than what they're used to. And I'll keep bringing it up because it's still a problem. The smoke, I mean, unless you turn off your graphics or something, that smoke effect, it's impossible to see. There's a big wreck in front of you. You're basically cold trickle there, just kind of hoping, go to the high side and just hope no one's up there.
The good news is, though, as of Wednesday, you can see the cars wrecking with the patch, helping a lot of these guys out. That was a kind of a sketchy thing last Friday with some of the guys not being able to see anybody. Everything is fixed. We're ready to rock and roll, and we're excited to get the round of 6, the Superior 6 round of the iSuperChase underway from Dega. Let's go trackside to Jaden Berkey for the singing of our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still
We're back live at the Talladega Superspeedway, and with that, we're officially ready to get iSuperChase Race 3 underway. Let's take a look trackside at the LSRTV starting grid, and with that, same pole sitter for what we saw earlier tonight in the Rodcar Truck Tour, this time with this kid on board. It's the Babymobile, the Toyota of Tom Moustakis on pole position, the 210 with a 32.391. Out-qualifies outside front row pole sitter, the 64 of Alex Aladar by 3/100ths of a second to snag the top starting spot in this race. Behind the bottom row 2, the 3 spot goes to Chris Basidi. Seth the Merchant going to be starting P4, and Mark Jorgensen Jr. will start 5th.
William Roberts Jr. in the 09 was going to roll off in that 6th position. Row number 4 on the inside is going to be Ramon Evans with Rodney Wofford on his outside. Chad King's going to start 9th, while Ben Nile in that 55 will start 10th.
Matt Quick in the Giftmobile is going to start 11th. Justin Anderson's going to start to his outside in 12th. Ron Mitten's going to start 13th. Christian Peterson is going to start 14th. And Kent Connolly in the 088, he's going to start 15th.
16th tonight, going to go to Dan Harrington. Josh Ball, the only driver left in the iSuperChase who is looking for a second iSuperSpeedway championship, will roll from 17th. 18th is Jason Altmans. Ryan Pyland in 19th, and 20th is Shane McEachin.
21st goes to the 23 of Jared Haggerty. 22nd tonight is the 3 of Brandon Chaburko. 23rd starting spot goes to Ray Rittenauer. Last guy to take the qualifying time is the number 8 of Dana Osborne, starting 24th. And Stephanie Lessentine in the 43 will roll off 25th.
Rest of these guys have used a provisional. 26 goes to Josh Hanner in the 24. Corey Henry's going to roll off 27th. 28 to Ryan Keese. 29th to Frank Basilia. 30th to Matt Bontempi. Daniel Ferguson, Donnie Giordano, and Sean Turner will make up your 33-car field for this A-Main at Dega.
It's not quite Texas, but Tom Moustakis has the speed. He is here to play spoiler. Amongst the 33 drivers in this field, 27 of them are fighting for 7th on through about 50th in the overall championship on the season. There are only 6 drivers in which tonight is extremely crucial. Not that the other guys don't care. There's still a trophy on the line. There is still our iSuperSpeedway i5 bonus, which is $20 tonight. If Brandon Chaburko, Rod Flag, Seth the Merchant, Josh Ball, or Matt Quick are to go to victory lane, they'll walk away with $20 cash on top of the trophy that will be mailed to them for winning this race. A lot of stakes for everybody, but the stakes are the highest for Josh Ball, Christian Peterson, Seth the Merchant, Jason Altmans, Josh Hanner, and Rodney Wofford. No advantage for a win, unlike you got in the opening round where we saw guys rack up 3 wins and be 15 points ahead. Nuh-uh. Everybody deadlocked. 2,000 points, 6 drivers, 2 races to fight for a championship in Daytona in 1 month's time. The pace car going to make the sharp left-hand turn, get down, get out of the way for this one. We're excited to get the Superior 6 round underway in Season 5 of the iSuperChase and through the Tri-Oval as we go. We're glad to have you with us along for the ride on LSRTV and iRacing Live. Green flag flies, racing at Talladega.
Alex Hallinar, pretty good start on that outside. Seth McEachin giving him a... Seth McEachin. Jeez, I'm all over the place here tonight. Seth the Merchant giving him a good push on that outside right there. And bottom side's going to prevail on this off of turn number 2. Right now, Hallinar trying to get another run as he works out way off of turn number 2. Seth the Merchant giving him a good push. But here comes the 09 of William Roberts Jr. and the number 7 of Rodney Wofford in that mellow yellow machine. He's going to drop to the inside lane now with the advantage in car number.
And the inside of poles 2 now, 3 car lengths to the good. The Water Machine, the 88 as well. So that leaves that 64 Gatorade Chevy topside of Alex Halladar. No help after starting on P2. He's got Seth the Merchant behind him. That 42, typically a very good restrictor plate racer. Not having a lot of help, though, because of the fact that it's just him. They've kind of separated the top 7 or 8 drivers from the back there. The top 7 pull it away just a little bit from Matt Quick on back. Now the back of that lead pack is catching up. The outside's going to get slower support as the owner of William Roberts Jr. goes topside. Now one of Chris Bassini left the safe confines of the bottom of the racetrack to go topside. He dropped the back 5 car lengths, but the big run now that the momentum swings to the outside's favor, making it a race again for the race lead to turn 3.
Yeah, the rookie's putting him up and putting him down right now. Jumped to that outside, made it work right there. He's got the 64 right behind him of Hallinar doing a great job pushing him. DeMerchant's right behind him. It looks like that's kind of the only three that have been able to stay together. The 09 of Roberts has kind of fallen back there. Maybe not had the draft help he needs, and it looks like the only car that could have helped him, the 89 of Quick, he ducks in behind. Now it looks like Roberts is going to get some help. Oh, maybe not from the 96 of Chad Keene. Keene deciding better of it, jumps back to the bottom, and it looks like we kind of have a breakaway there, but now it looks like the pack right behind him is going to sort of catch up. They're single-filed right behind those top six.
And the outside with the run down to 34 degrees. The banking to Chris Bassini. He gets clear. Does he jump to the bottom? Yes, sir. To the inside, and he makes the jump a little bit late. It kind of cuts off the nose there on the bottom of Tom Moustakas, and Moustakas gives him a shot back, saying he didn't appreciate that, and he'll remind him over the radio as well to make sure you got a little bit more of a gap there, and it'll put that one machine down to the race lead. Looked like Pasiti may have gotten a little bit of damage though out of that contact, very minor to the back end, but there is something there nonetheless at the back of that one Chevrolet. Just as he left the top side though, the outside getting right back at him. We'll see if Alex Hallinar can do anything. The outside lane though, gonna find problems again. It seems like every time that 64 and in a spot to do something, the outside loses its help. It's just three cars up there. We'll see what they got.
Yeah, using the a little bit of the side draft to at least keep themselves up there battling for that lead spot right now. Pulling out a little bit ahead right now, currently into turn number 3 is Hallinar. Where they get their advantage on that high side is to run off the corner. If the guy behind him can time that push just right, like it looked like they did right there, here comes Seth the Merchant now, going to give him a push, see if they can lead at this line, but the bottom side, battling back hard, Chris Pasini, he's still going to lead the lap.
And then inside, you know it is the place to be, but nobody really passes on the bottom. Again, you're on the bottom. It's the safe lane you ride. When you want to make a move, you jump up top and take your chances. Well, Tom Moustakas has been all over the back of the one machine so far here tonight. And now he goes to the outside, and you see the 210 not happy with the one. He'll give him a door slam down the backstretch at 197 miles an hour. So a shot to the passenger side door and a pass for Tom Moustakas on the one of Chris Bassini.
And Moustakas kind of staying on that outside, trying to help them work. And it looks like he's not going to get to the bottom in time. And Passini's going to try and battle back. 210 tried to go down there, but it's already too late. Now Ramon Evans is pulled up right behind the one of Passini. And Ramon has a little help from that 7 of Wolford. And Rodney Wofford, he's one of our chasers here. And he's up there in the top 6, looking maybe to try and steal away one of the wins here.
Oh, and more contact on the bottom. Ramon Evans pushed up a little bit, got into Jorgensen. The big conversation all last month with these cars on the setup that they had, on the build that we were running, on the track conditions we had, was tight. We kind of really don't know what these cars are going to be like on a very long run. So far, they have been anything but tight. They've been tight at times, but they've been just very unstable. They don't stay straight very easily. These guys, they're working on those wheels to keep them in line. It's a hot, slick racetrack. It's a new build. It's a new setup. Talk about a learning curve in the middle of a championship battle.
Yeah, listen, that keeps it fresh, keeps the guys on their toes, and you don't want to see a rule change or anything like that come into fruition in the middle of the chase, but yet it has. And listen, everybody's got to play by the same rules, so everybody's in the same corner as far as that goes. But a little bit of shuffling going on a little further back. Seth the Merchant still trying to make that outside line work.
Oh, a lot of problems.
The 7 of Wofford goes down to Dodge at 83.
Oh, there's 7 wide.
The place. Everybody.
Oh, there they go.
Finally.
Osborne. They had gotten through it for a lot of it, and they were using that every single inch of the apron, and eventually they ran out of room. The Ada Dana Osborne, the unlucky soul that's going to find himself in the wrong place at the wrong time, he gets hit by Chiburko as they were all trying to avoid it, and it's an unfortunate situation there up front, guys. That all happened very quickly. We mentioned that Ramon Evans had gotten a little bit tight the lap prior to this, got up into Mark Jorgensen Jr. That was close. And then this time, the same thing happens with Evans pushing up a little bit, and this time he takes out Tom Moustakas. Luckily for those guys, they all hang on, but with a wreck of that size, you have to imagine a couple of our chase competitors are going to be involved, and one of the drivers that was involved in that accident, the 48 of Josh Ball, who entered out of the round of 10 as the highest driver on points in a win to qualify. His night takes a big turn downhill with the fact that there are no more quick fixes in this series. race, basically putting him in a winner-go-home position at the next Talladega race. He can still salvage and scrap, but that car's not going to win tonight.
No, that thing's looking like a modified right now.
If it does win, I'll pay him a lot of money. It's
Okay.
probably not going to win. I won't, you know, I'm not going to close the door completely, but it probably won't happen.
Well, yeah, but we're looking at the front of that car right now. That thing looks like a modified, and he's going to hit pit road right now, but not very happy is the driver of that 48. He came over the radio and let everyone know exactly how not happy he was, and it looks like he's going to be the first car, and he's going to lead. It looks like most of our leaders in here. That's Bassini's going to lead him down as the first car scored as the leader. Right now, it looks like one car did stay out. Couldn't tell if that's a lap car down. No, that's Josh Hanner. Okay. So nothing really new there. Hanner's going to stay out. I would say we've seen this a couple times. So Hanner's going to stay out here, play the strategy game. Meanwhile, it looks like everyone else has come down to pit road and trying to get some tires here.
Coming down, getting service, and again, you saw it there when they were tightly packed together that having a good handling race car helps a lot of drivers in, take you to 4 tires. Mark Jorgensen Jr. elects to go with 2 tires, along with the 92 of Rod Minton. Daniel Ferguson going to get out, but yeah, Josh Hanner gets out to the front of the field in this one, and he'll lead after staying out. They could make it well more than 9 laps on fuel, Andy. Based on the way that this setup has been racing, I don't expect us to go green all the way through to the end of this race. So because of that, I would imagine that this would be a pretty good move for Josh Hanner, considering he was 26th on the grid. Why not?
Yeah, this puts him way out of position now to be in possibly another.
It's a gamble,
wreck,
though,
so.
being a chase guy, but I mean, it's better than running P26 and trying to pass 25 cars based on what we've seen tonight. So, I mean, I'm not much of a gambler, but I'll take it.
Yeah, 25 spots just like that under caution. That's what he made up. So, it was a good call by him. I think that they got to pit anyway again, or at least there's at least one stop for these guys. If we run another 10 or 15 laps or so, you'll see them all back down pit road anyway, and that's about the time you'll see that 24. But he elected on this round anyway to go with the strategy right now of getting. He's going to go down pit road now. So never mind. He went out to lead a lap. That's about it.
Well, it's a bonus point, so it wasn't quite the strategy call that we were expecting, but it's a bonus point, so I still like it. Not what we had thought it was. He'll go back in the pack, and I think with a 47-lap race, he's going to continue to take it easy a little bit and probably not trying to get his elbows up and fight and push his way through the field quite yet, Cisco. So he gets the bonus point, and I think he's just trying to ride at the back for a little bit. So he's expecting and kind of banking on still, despite the fact that his strategy changed, or at least what we thought it was, he still would like a caution later, because I would imagine he probably doesn't want to be in that large pack based on what we've seen so far.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's done it before where he stayed out there, but came back in, decided to get his bonus point. Meanwhile, I do want to report that the number 8 of Dana Osborne was deemed the cause of that caution, has been disqualified from the race. So he'll be parking the number 8, and that car has been taken from the track.
So he is going to sit the rest of this one out on the sideline and, at the back of the pack there. So he will be the DQ in this one. An unfortunate situation, but Dana Osborne not going to be doing good. He joins Josh Ball as the only driver off of the lead lap. That 48 machine on pit road. The front of it is off. It looks like the Batmobile again, like we saw in the B main. And you go so quickly from being in a spot where Josh really didn't have a whole lot of pressure on him, Andy, going into the second race of the round of 10. He was in by quite a good amount of points, but he still won it, so he gets the win by. You go from 1 week being so confident and so good and on the top of the world to, in this one, getting into an accident, and now you're the one that's climbing uphill, and you're feeling what you were putting the pressure on everybody else in that previous round.
No, exactly. We talked about it. Just short rounds, two races to decide who goes on to the championship race. So you can't have any of these happenings. And for Josh Ball, unfortunately, it happened to him in the first race. So, I mean, listen, he's still got a chance. He's a couple weeks from now, we come back for an endurance race. He's pretty good in those long races. We saw that, of course, last week. So Josh Ball just got Gonna have to get what he can here tonight. If he can get back out on track, that'll be great. Maybe make up a spot or two of guys that have fallen out of the race. So that's about all he's got hopes for currently, at least for this one. But I think the sights for next week have already been set. He's got to win to get in.
He knows the objective, and he has to sit here for the next 36 laps or so. Just about on the money. It'll be actually right at 36 laps to go for the restart. You're going to have to sit for the next 36 laps and think about that and know and sit on top of it. In fact, you know, we talk about guys like to bask in the wins. And, you know, basically we race every single Friday. I don't think we've had a Friday off in a couple of months here. The fact that we have 2 weeks off in a row, whoever wins this race is really going to be able to enjoy it because they'll probably have their trophy by the time we get on track next week. For the guys, especially the Chase guys, Cisco, that don't do good tonight, they have to sit and wait 2 weeks or 20 days till we get back on track, and that sucks even more.
Yeah, absolutely. It's kind of similar to what Upstate's doing right now. Is they're on a little bit of a break here, and we know Nicholas Rasmussen over there. He was so stoked last night, as we saw. He got his first career win. If you guys didn't catch it on Thursday night, but you know, someone wins here. You know, won the Chasers. They get to bask, and then, like you said, maybe even get their trophy racing next time, and that's pretty cool right there.
We still have plenty of exciting races. We've got 36 laps to do it at Talladega. There is a lot on the line. One chaser already with major problems. That's the 48 of Josh Ball. The pace car down and away. It's going to be a chaser closest to the front in the looks of the 51. Jason Altman from P5, your highest running chase driver. Green flag go for topside, the 92, the Monster Energy Assault Chevrolet. Rod Mitten takes the green to turn 1, door-to-door with the 88 of Jorgensen for the first time, getting him up to speed through Girder 3 and now into 4th gear.
Yeah, it looked like Jorgensen actually checked up a little bit there. I don't think he might have went a little bit before the 92 of Rod Mitten, so I think he was trying to give that position back, hoping that he was, yeah, pedal now, let me contact, 88, 92.
Saved it!
They all just scatter down there, and man, that was close right there.
And that's exactly what happened the last time in turn 2, and it caused the big mess that eventually brought out a caution flag. And it's a little bit of contact on the bumper of the 92, and he pushed up just a little bit. The 88 was there pinching, and it hooked that 92 around. Hell of a save, though, for Rod Mitten for not making that one a huge pileup. It does spread everybody out. Jorgensen wants the race lead. It's going to go to Chris Piscini. We'll take another look, though, full screen at what happened that time in turn 2.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure a couple of these drivers are going to have to change their driving suits after this one, because that was scary right there. I mean, Mitten, you know, he's at the front of the race. It's almost like what we saw happen to Corey Henry there, where he got spun in basically the front of the pack there. But and except the problem was he was in the middle of the pack there when that happened. But it looks like these guys have sort of formed a pack. The front has sort of formed a pack, and we're seeing one form now with the 7 of Wofford and the 92 of Mitten. Looks like those two have decided to work together. Meanwhile, you see Chaburko working with Mostekas, and Keen and a couple other cars are kind of joining that pack. And then we also see, oh, look who found each other. Christian Peterson and Seth the Merchant found each other, and that's trouble right there.
And that'll spice things up a little bit here as people try to figure out what was going on. The endurance events are longer than the A-mains and the B-mains. Those races, the obvious objective is to settle down. We know that in these A-main and B-main races, the feature races as we call them, that there's no real settling down. Look at that, the 09 car into the outside wall. William Roberts Jr. contact in turn 2 again. That's not been a fun place for anybody tonight. He got sped out of line and tossed into the fence. They'll go 4 wide as they put him down into turn number 3. We know you can't settle down. I understand that, but I mean, nobody can just get in line at the moment. Everybody all over the racetrack, the top 4 cars, well out in front of everybody else by a second.
Yeah, look at this on the outside. That second group really starting to make a run right now as Hallinar's leading it with Wofford pushing. Look at the run those guys are getting, man. It's almost like the front 4 were just standing still to the outside. Here goes Hallinar now, trying to make something happen. He's doing a great job of it right now, all the way up to that 3rd spot now, looking for more off of turn number 2. He's brought a whole gaggle of cars with him, including the 210 of Mustakis and the 3 of Chaburko. They're all back in the mix.
They're digging up. That's 4 cars topside, 5 cars topside as Cheburko jumps up top to join him. The DraftKings Chevy Brandon Cheburko eliminated after being disqualified from the race win last week at Daytona. Doesn't make the cut here for Redemption, doing the same thing that we mentioned Frank Basilia was doing, and the same thing that Chris Bassini's doing out in front, and what Shane McKeachin hopes to do, and that is lead laps and win races. That's all they can do from this point on. And the outside, though, not showing a lot of speed despite the amount of cars they have. 3-car length advantage for the inside lane.
Yeah, and I'm seeing Matt Quick. He keeps taking looks to the outside there, as is Mark Jorgensen right now. Jorgensen thinking about going, and he's going to get actually sent down the middle. Didn't get up there quick enough, and now it looks like he's falling back into the clutch. It looks like Cheburko's actually going to get to the back bumper of the 88, and they're 3 wide for second as Hallinar gets to the 51 moments. And, they've nearly made contact there. Oh, man, Evan.
And they settle down to 3 wide and now 2 wide, and a big sigh of relief again after we went 4 wide in turn number 3. I know it's got the room more contact. Hallinar gonna get hit in the left front from the bottom by the 3 of Brandon Cheburko. These cars are all over the racetrack, which I like. You know, it's difficult enough, and a lot of people, they look at restrictor plate racing, Andy, and they think it's very easy. Well, it's not NASCAR inside line, I'm sorry to tell you. You got to put a lot of work into keeping the car straight. That on top of an extremely difficult setup, though, that these guys are racing on. You might think that they don't know what they're doing. It is hard, though, what these guys are having to race under the conditions. It is not a walk in the park. They're having to fight it. It puts a lot in the driver's hands.
Yeah, it does, and we talked about that. All that stuff with as far as the setup with Josh Ball last week, about how, you know, it's all about learning what you got to do, and, you know, letting off the throttle just a small amount through the corner will actually let the car settle back down to the bottom and give you a little bit more traction getting off the corner. So, I mean, a lot of these guys, when you come to these plate tracks, you almost talk about just put the pedal down straight to the floor and turn that wheel, and it's not that type of setup. You know, as the tires wear out, you're gonna have to let up a little bit getting into the corner, and things like that are you know, it's something that you got to learn, and something you got to I guess get used to, as opposed to just coming to these tracks, putting, you know, not even using the gas.
Trouble! The 210 machine turned around. Tom Moustakis, big accident at a turn number 4. Jorgensen, all 4 tires off the ground. A flat spin over the pit road commitment cone. The caution flag is out. And again, everything just breaks out of nowhere. Tom Moustakis, he got loose. I think the 89 may have tapped him Matt Quick. All attribute a little bit of netcode to that, but he gets into Moustakis. Moustakis goes up, and then with that, Quick comes back up again on the nose of Cheburko. Those 3 guys go into wall. Moustakis comes down the track, and that 88 of Jorgensen was in the air for 5 seconds, spinning like a top.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, the guy kind of with nowhere to go there was Hallinar in the 64. He basically caught up in there and just got a hood full of Mark Jorgensen there, but I would say that it's looking like it looks like the Rebels might be in trouble here, because I'm seeing a stormtrooper up front right now.
And speaking of which, we're glad to have you with us on this Friday night, as opposed to being at the movie theater. I know that's where a lot of people have been the last couple of days, but enjoying some sim racing action here tonight, and it's been quite exciting so far. So with that, we're going to take an opportunity, step away, take a quick commercial break back at Talladega for the second of 2 big wrecks and what is the 3rd total of caution flags on the evening. It's Santa's Big Set Classic Feature Race 16 at iSuperChase Race 3 of 5.
outside contact made. 56 slides it at a 4. Who's going to be at the stripe? Dead even. Give it to Ryan Truex. Truex is your winner over Tandy.
Monza is a very historic track. It's been around since the 20s, and it's gone through several permutations since then. We're also bringing forward a number of configurations. So there's chicanes that they've installed since the track's early days. So they can use original, very high-speed configurations of the track where the cars would just blow through where the chicanes are today, or they could use a more modern version. So it's a pretty cool, compelling track. The unique thing about Monza is it has a road course, but it also has a high-speed oval. And that high-speed oval can be run by itself. The Grand Prix course can be run by itself. And they also can be run together in a combined circuit, which is very unique and special in motorsports. This was one of the more challenging projects that we've undertaken. It was essentially building two tracks in one. It took a lot of time and a lot of care was put into it, but we're really happy about the end result and we think that people have a lot of fun driving it.
We're back live at the Talladega Super Speedway. Lights off on top of the American Childhood Cancer Organization Ford Mustang GT pace car. We got the Mustang in front. We got the modified leading the race, and a Ford Fusion in second. It'll be the 51 machine first car off of the pit lane, and Jason Altman's to start in second. But remember Mark Jorgensen Jr., who was flat spinning in the air in the wreck? He has not pitted. He is still out there. This is probably going to be very bad. I'm not looking forward to this. There's no way that car drives more than 100 miles an hour.
No, I'm really not sure. I mean, I went down there and asked, and unless they were being sarcastic, they're like, oh yeah, he's fine. He hasn't been running with any nose all night. So this is going to get really interesting really quickly if he stays on that track.
Andy, over or under 10 cars on this?
I'm going to take the over, seeing that there's still over 10 on the lead lap.
That sounds fair.
No.
We will see. He's going to have to get it up to speed, and you cannot pass before the start-finish line, so now we'll see how this goes. The 88 car of Mark Jorgensen Jr. going to lead at a turn number 4. Hold on. We'll see as the pace car makes a sharp left-hand turn to get down and out of the way. This restart with 25 laps to go, just shy of halfway in feature race number 16. The pace car gets down and away, and we'll see just how this one shakes out. The one car sags back in anticipation to the American Ethanol. Go zone we go in the restart box. He'll lose the engine. Green flag flies. We're back racing at Talladega. The 88 blows the motor, and now you got to wonder if the cars behind him get a black flag. We'll see.
Yeah, the only benefit is they passed him on the outside, so I think...
51's got a black flag.
Got one of them, at least Jason Altman says a black flag, but yeah, right there, blew up the motor right at coming to green, stomped on the accelerator, and that was it.
So he didn't quite make it as far as Kevin Harvick did, and he didn't take out as many cars, so that worked out pretty good. The 51 gets his penalty waived off by race control. Jorgensen gets to the apron in time, doesn't cause any more of a nuisance, and we're back underway. The only driver that really doesn't appreciate that, I would imagine, maybe would be the one of Chris Passini, because Passini would have been able to find himself in the front row instead. He'll be on the inside, maybe a saving grace, because he's on the bottom, and now he's the second car in line. That leaves lonely Ben Nile up there. The 55 Toyota, no help at the start-finish line, in about P5, now P6. Sliding backwards, he needs some help soon, as everybody rides the bottom.
Yeah, it looks like he got a little bit of contact there with the 96. Just a little tang there from Chad Keane. But some help is coming. It looks like the two Target teammates, that's DeMerchant and Peterson, they found each other, I mentioned before, and that usually means those two will be up at the front before too long, and maybe they'll try and help Niall here. It'll be interesting to see. Yep, it looks like DeMerchant's going to pull up to the back bumper of the 55. It looks like they're going to try and work with him and get up to the front there, or they're going to duck down and leave him out to dry, which looks like it's going to happen there. Ben is going to head straight to the back. Sorry, bro.
That the Merchant, Christian Peterson are both into this Superior 6 round, the 42 and the 71, working together as we expected. Running right now across the start-finish line, going to pick up some more spots and it'll bump them up to P9 and P10. They're working through the pack together. The 94 Frank Basilia goes topside, and now you go from nobody wanting to work with the 55 at aisle to 3 seasoned veterans on the outside. Now we'll see how they can mix it up. 3 cars outside, 7 cars on the bottom, drag racing down the backstretch.
Yeah, pretty good battle right now. Looking to the outside, though, Chaburko, you know he won't stand still for long. He looks to the outside, doesn't have the run on from the outside from Frank Basilia leading that way right now. The run should come right here off of turn number 4. Does he jump out to the outside? Not quite. Still stays at the bottom. Chaburko staying in line for now. You know that's not what he wants. Passini moves high. That's going to leave the bottom side open. He tries to catch the draft to that second lane. Not going to happen when Basilia goes to the outside. Now it's 3 wide for that 4th spot. Now 6th spot. Now 8th spot. All the way to the back. 94 is heading that way.
He goes southbound at a turn number 2. He'll slide back behind the 43 of Stephanie Lesentine and try to hang on to a spot inside of the top 10, but he'll drop in line in about P10. Cuts off the 55 to get in line. Niall will check up. That causes Dan Harrington to get onto the binders. Harrington will lose 2 spots because of that to the 41 machine and to the 28, but he got down in line nonetheless. Chris Passini, though, wants to get for the race lead, and he's got Seth the Merchant pushing, so he was on the bottom, elected, hey, the outside's hustling, jumped up out of line. That's the way a lot of these passes are made. Start-finish line, it was a drag race. Altman's on the bottom, though, a small advantage. That 51 machine getting a hell of a push from Brandon Chaburko down the trial.
It looks like Lesentine's going to dive to the bottom there. It looks like she wasn't getting a whole lot done the outside. Now maybe looking back to the outside, so she's trying and find where the run's going to be. Meanwhile, it looks like the 96 is Chad Keen's trying to give everything he can to Rodney Wofford there, but it looks like it's not working out as Wofford looks to have a little bit of damage. Maybe that car not up to snuff as the other two are leading right now, but Altman's getting a huge push from Chaburko, and that's basically keeping Altman's in this fight right now because that one car in that 42, they're making it work with the side draft.
They're keeping him honest on the bottom, but Chaburko has been so aggressive on the push. We talk about not being allowed to push in the tri-oval or the corners. Well, the 3 machine, the definition of pushing the boundaries there because he's plastered on the back of the 51, trying to keep as much momentum up to the inside as possible. The reason the outside gets clear in these cases, Andy, is because coming off the corner, if you can't push the outside, see right there, they get the big run off the bank. The inside pushing a little bit early that time, and 2 makes it a little bit closer than it it would normally be, but the outside still wins that fight. That one machine doesn't drop down, though. He stays topside, so the inside is at such a disadvantage coming off of the corner. They almost have to push to even have a shot at it, and that's where you get close on the rules. Keep doing it until they tell you to stop doing it.
Yeah, rules are meant to be broken, Evan, just not in racing. Yes, always ask for forgiveness. It's easier than asking for permission, but Piscini doing a good job on the outside. Had the opportunity to come down, not going to do it. He's got a couple seasoned veterans, guys that get it done on the plate tracks week after week together. Seth the Merchant and the 71 of Peterson. And Peterson decided to go to the bottom. He left enough room there for the 42 of Seth the Merchant, but he decides, rather than hitting the back of him, I'm moving back up to the high side. So those two guys that work so well together currently are split up as his top pack's trying to make some move on the outside. Just behind him, that's the 41 of Pilot. He's got help with the 28 of McKeechin trying to make it around Stephanie Lessentine. It looks like they're going to be able to do it. Lessentine all by herself now. She'll be able to drop back in line behind Kent Connolly there in that 088. I'm sure she'll do it as soon as she gets the opportunity as they enter in turn one.
So she migrates down from the middle to the bottom. That makes that third lane the outside of two. So the 41, the 28, the 94, they all drop back down. I was surprised to see Divergent jump back out of line from the bottom unless he and Peterson were going to get back together. That's exactly what happened because I think that Divergent was hoping the one would leave him. We'll go 3 wide around some lap traffic right here down into turn number 3. Typically, you want that guy to not leave you, Andy. You hope that he stays out topside and kind of drags you with. As a big run for the 41 machine, storming into the picture comes Ryan Byland. In this case, though, I feel like Seth wanted the one to drop down when he was clearing 3. That way the 42 and the 71 could take off and get to 1-2. That's why I thought they may have been trying to get around him. And it looks like they're still working with him, though. They've got a challenge for that 3 wide with the 41 and the 28. Trying to make that third lane brew. Not able to get the momentum up, though, inside the top 7.
Yeah, it looks like the one of Piscini is looking like he's leaving a gap there back, but it's still, again, the huge suck up there for the 42 at DeMerchant. And it looks like Altmans is going to check up the bottom line now, and that's going to allow Piscini. He's going to drop in now. Just like you said, that's what DeMerchant wanted, and Peterson, because those two are going to be hanging tough on the outside. And now Piscini, because he doesn't have the draft, he's going to go straight back to the front bumper, the 51 of Altmans, and those two are going to get a huge run out of 4, maybe use a little bit of lap car. And they're going to get a great run here as the 41 is now dropped in of Pyland. He's dropped right in behind those two Target Chevrolets right there.
And this is what they're trying to do. They're trying to get to 1-2. I wouldn't expect Seth to leave the 71 quite yet. Maybe a little bit later on if he gets clear. He'll jump down to the bottom of the racetrack and go for it. But right now, those guys trying to stay together. Bottom side for the 51 of Jason Altmans. Quiet, sneaking under the radar. Made it into the Supreme 6 round. 17 points ahead of the cut line. He's the 4th ranked car into this race, but he's tied with everybody. So as they run now, he'd be in the transfer spot of 3rd outside of tonight's race. He's one of your best running iSuperChase competitors, and unlike we've seen DeMerchant and Peterson do, he's been quiet. He's been riding on the bottom of the racetrack. He hasn't been making aggressive moves. He likes this Talladega racetrack. He's doing good on the bottom, holding it exactly where he wants for now, and that's just being in the conversation as a special Star Wars BestBuy.com Ford Fusion on this week.
Yeah, and that's something he's lacked too, is a lot of racing luck over the past few weeks. So I think that's probably contributing to the fact that he doesn't want to push the issue this early on, as we're about 15 laps to go here. So he's up where he needs to be. In order to win one of these things, you got to be up in front in contention right now. And I think for the time being, at least for another 5 or 6 laps, Altmans is definitely content to run right now behind that one of Chris Piscini. Outside line still not able to get nothing of much value going here right now. Seth the Merchant still leads that train, but Wofford now coming into the picture. He's going to get right up on the bumper of Christian Peterson. More lap traffic to the outside, the 2 of Gary Giratano. So they make it all the way around. Yes, barely. It looked like the 2 kind of slipped up a little bit there into the corner, but top side, some momentum now off of turn number 2. Trying to make another run at it, but just not having enough horsepower, enough draft right now currently with the separation that was between them and the 7 of Wofford. So the top 3 now, it looks like, are going to have that top side cleared, but that's just for now as they come back off turn 4.
That 7 mellow yellow Chevy of Rodney Warford, a little bit beaten and battered as well. He came into this race as the bottom transfer from the round of 10. 10 points above the cut line, but he's here. He's on equal playing field. So top 4 of your chase guys doing it very good at the moment. He's got some damage, though, and I still have to think that that's got to be affecting him a little bit, which evidently I think is hurting the 42 and the 71. That combined with the fact that it's 4 cars topside versus 9 on the bottom, and I'm not surprised that Piscini has been leading this race. This changes it all, though. Chaburko jumps out of line from 3rd. He'll lead the outside charge. He'll drag the 42 up to the bumper with him, and now it's game on.
And surprise level, none, because this is Brandon Chaburko we're talking about. He loves doing this sort of thing. He's just so awesome at using that outside again to the lead right there. And he's going to use the 42 to Merchant. Those two are going to get a great run on the outside. It's going to be a drag race in the line. I think Piscini will beat him here. It's going to be close. No, not that time. But Piscini's doing a great job on that bottom. It looks like DeMerchant now is going to get shuffled away from his teammate. And looks like Peterson's going to stay in line, not going back for him. I think DeMerchant might have been worried about engine cooling there and ducked out of line to make sure he didn't blow up the car.
Temperature is always a concern. It's often overlooked, but when you're riding in a pack this large for so long, it can be of a nuisance. Look at the 41 machine jumping up topside. So as well, trying to join the freight train is Ryan Pilan. They'll put another lap down to Alex Halidar. Had such a good start to this race in the number 64 starting second. Terrible to see him have that bad luck. He's P26 and now 7 laps down. He'll stay up against the fence, causes no problems amongst the lead lap draft. But 3 cars on the bottom, the 1, the 51, the 28, continue to be stubborn, not giving up much ground.
Protecting that bottom line, that's exactly what they need to do. And logging some laps, letting the laps tick off away here. 10 to go this time by. Off of turn number 2, though, the outside line, picking up some more momentum. Peterson now, he's all by himself, seeing that Seth the Merchant's about 4 cars behind him. So 3 cars separate those guys on that top side. Seth the Merchant, you know he's going to want to get back up to the front. The problem is, who does he trust here in the back, or does he have Peterson come drop out of line and come to the back? And right now, he's not even going to make a move here as that front pack, 14 cars now, continue to run ever so close here through the trial.
10 laps to go at Talladega. On the line, a possible bye into the championship race at Daytona for the one and only race in the round of 3, the Supreme 3 at Daytona, or a lot of points. We've already seen Josh Ball have problems tonight. You got 4 chase drivers running inside of the top 10. Only 3 could make it to that season finale after this race and the next one on the 8th of January for the second of 2 on the round of 6. Very crucial 10 laps coming up. Caution flag at 5 to go, guys, would end this. We know that with no cautions, or rather no green white checkers, and the iRacing service, a caution would end the race at that point. Still a chance for a restart if we do wreck him, but this lead lap draft is 13 cars strong. I talked about Josh Hanner coming down to the pit lane, topping off Cisco, getting back out there and banking on a yellow. Well, that 24 did exactly what I thought he was going to do. That's hang back. He's not a chase, or he is a chase competitor, but he's not up there with the other 4 chase competitors. He's 10 seconds back in 15th position. He wants that yellow now. Green flag, though, looking pretty strong up front.
Yeah, but you never know what could happen here. We saw how loose these cars were getting, and we're getting to the point where the tires are starting to wear, and you never know what could happen. But take a look, that 51, Altman's, he's back down to the bottom. He's going to take the lead here going into 3. It looks like McEachin's getting some help from Chaburko there in the 3 car. But Altman's going to try and hang tough on the bottom as they come out of 4. It looks like Altman's going to have a great run, but here comes Chaburko. That outside line's been working so well on these straightaways, and they're going to get a good run, but it looks like it's going to be Altman's to the line.
Inside with the advantage. He pushes up a little bit, tries to defend that line. The 28 comes back, and it's the 3 machine of Brandon Chaburko pushing. So if you're the 28 of Shane McEachin, you got to feel pretty good, because if somebody's going to be aggressive and give you a good push, it's the 3. Problem is, if somebody's going to push you, set you up, and pass you, it's the 3. Chaburko not having much support, though, at the back end either, to the bottom of the racetrack for Christian Peterson and the 41. We were just talking about Seth the Merchant. Well, he got out of line. The 42 separated from his partner in the 71. Seth back in P12.
Yeah, falling all the way back like this, and not what he wants. You got to get every position he possibly can to get some points. Running out of laps, though, this time by 7 more to go. 7 circuits around this track. Top side definitely losing the momentum now. Looks like Chaburko had to let off the throttle just a bit right there, probably to cool that engine off. Seeing that we're running such a high temp track and all that heat that this thing generates off itself, and and then on top of it, you got these cars that have been running green flag laps for a long time right now. It just makes it that much more exciting here as the 41 now jumps to the outside, piling right in front of Shane McEachin. It's going to make it a 3-car train on the top side. Still not enough, though, right now with 10 cars on that bottom side right now. So it's going to be tough to get the pass done on the outside for the win, but we've seen it time and time again. Who's going to jump out when they get to run? And when a run just like that, does the 1 car jump out and try to block them? At the same time, it gives him a decent push to try to get by the leader.
We're waiting for all of this to break out. Working lap 42 of 47. Jason Altmans, if he can hold on, he'll go to the Supreme 3 round with a trip to victory lane tonight. Everybody else wants to make sure that doesn't happen. To the outside, Ryan Pilon, the number 41, push from Shane McEachin. They made up a lot of ground through the tri-oval and turns 1 and 2. Stalled out, though, down the back straightaway. 3 wide again around the lap machine. The 64 well up and out of the way again. Chaburko's got to get to one of them. They need more than 3 cars. Question is, if you go up there and it doesn't work, you drop backwards. So if the 1 machine of Chris Bassini or a guy like the 088 of Kent Connolly or a 71 of Christian Peterson, if they go topside, that's a gamble. Right now, if they stay where they are, they know they'll be there at 3 laps to go. They don't know what's going to happen with the outside, so they keep looking over there and keep thinking about it every single time. Do I go up or not?
But if I'm a Seth DeMerchant or a Stephanie Lessentine here, and even a Justin Anderson, looks like those 3 are starting to break away from the pack. Those 4, I should say, also in that group, 96 of Keene. I think those are the guys we might see jump up to that outside because they're far enough back where they'll really gain from and maybe get a little bit of a run. So I'll have to see. And I don't think Seth DeMerchant's going to be happy sitting in 11th right now. I think we haven't seen the last of him yet.
This race still far from over. 44 laps to go. This time, at lap 44 to 47. Inside of 4 laps to go. Altmans across the start-finish line, out in front. At this point, a caution would end this race. It is Jason Altmans in front of the field as your leading chase competitor. You've got to look back to the 71 of Christian Peterson, P7, before you find your next chase driver. He probably wants to get back with Seth DeMerchant, but again, the problem is because at 42 lost a whole bunch of spots a couple of laps ago, he can't do anything. Seth is a fast car. He's not fast enough to pull out a line and pass 5 cars on his own to get to him. They need to start working together. They got to do it quickly. Time's running short.
Yeah, the laps are ticking away here as they hit down the front straightaway again, and the 41 of Pilon still just not giving up right now with McEachin on the outside, 2 of them. The bottom side a little split up right now. We got 4 guys. Oh, they make contact right there to 1 of Chris Bassini. He gets into the 41 of Ryan Pilon. That's one way to get to the lead on the outside lane. Now he's going to be all by himself as the 41 of Pilon continues to fall. He's losing the draft right now off of turn number 2, trying to get back up to the 1 car to at least get something going again on that outside, but a tough break right there. Chaburko now is cleared that top side. This is about that time you see him jump to the outside to try to get some help. The outside still doesn't have the run, though, off of turn number 4.
And I don't think that was a intentional move to get up there either. I think just a little bit of a bumper hook that set him up there. Matt Bontempi looking towards pit lane. A couple of these drivers may be close on fuel, if you can believe that one or not. We have to keep an eye throughout the field to see who may be coming down to the pit lane to get fuel. It looks like your chase drivers are going to take the gamble and stay out. 3 wide, the 1 car shuffled up to the outside. Can Kent Connolly win at Talladega? Piling back into the conversation. A big run for the outside of the racetrack. The 28 McEachin, he gets spit out of line down the backstretch, just 1 lap shy of the white flag. Altman sees it go away. 088 to P1, 41 to P2.
And I think Pilon's gonna get left on the outside. The only person to help him is gonna be the 71 of Peterson. Looks like Passini's gonna drop to the inside now. White flag is in the air, and Kent Connolly's all of a sudden jumped in. He's leading this thing.
They may not have enough gas. Hearing the 51 might run out on the white flag lap, but I can guarantee you, Andy Kessler, at 1 lap to go, no fuel saving, white flag in the air.
Yeah, now's not the time to save for fuel. They should have been doing that the last 20 laps or so right now. White flag last time. These guys will see turns 1 and 2 at full speed on the outside. Here comes Tylen with some help from the 71 of Peterson. Peterson trying to give him all he can to get him clear. Will he have enough to get himself clear? Now he's off the inside. 3 wide.
Oh, contact!
They make contact. The 088 of Kent Conley goes all the way down to the apron.
Oh,
coming back up the track into the wall. This could end it. No, it's not gonna, because the white flag's out. They're 3 wide for second off of 4.
Oh, they're gonna wreck behind. The 7's in the fence. Jason Altman's Christian Peterson on the line. A free ticket to Daytona. Run topside for the 94 Basilia. The wreck behind. That's gonna lock it up. Christian Peterson, checkered flag. Second win on the chase. He'll fight for a championship at Daytona in January. He punches his ticket to the Supreme 3, holding off Frank Basilia and Justin Anderson. And I can only imagine what can be described as heartbreak for the 51 of Jason Altman's. 1.5 laps short in front of the field. There were guys running out of fuel at the end. And I don't know what happened into turn number 3, but Peterson went to go 3 wide. We know that. The 71 went to the middle, tipped the 41. We'll take a second look at that. It spit Kent Connolly out of line. Heartbreaking to see that for Kent, who's going to get a 16th place finish. That would have been a feel-good win. And then Peterson on the inside, the 41, just drove into the apron in turn 3 before he got sent up. And it was so close for maybe one last-ditched effort for the 94 to Frank Basilia. Then I thought it was going to be Jason Altman's, and I believe that number 51 of Altman's ran out of gas in the tri-oval.
Yeah, but he got a big shove from Stephanie Lessentine to get across the line there. He's actually going to be 3rd out of all the chasers. So, not quite what he was expecting, but still that'll help, going forward in the points. He's in a good spot, It does help to be that 3rd chaser. And Seth the Merchant came out of nowhere. I think he was like the 5th chaser or 4th chaser in line there and went all the way up to the 2nd chaser in line. So he's got to be feeling good right now. He had a big charge right there.
And as per league procedures, with there being an accident on the white flag with a couple of guys getting tangled up, the finish will be under review, but I don't see any reason Christian Peterson does not go home and win this race. You win the first race of the Super 10 round at Daytona. You win the first race of the Superior 6 round at Talladega, and he's got one thing left if the win holds up. That is, go to Daytona, win the first and only race of the Supreme 3 round, and call yourself an iSuperspeedway champion. Christian Peterson, the only driver that will sleep well for the next 3 weeks.
Yeah, went right in time for the holiday, so a pretty good deal for him, and hopefully it sticks up. I don't think he did anything wrong, like you said, and it looks like he'll be able to take the advantage of this and push himself into that championship race, which is a pretty cool deal. And you know what? I got to say, in 3 weeks when we come back for that endurance race, you know what you're going to have to watch out for is Christian Peterson giving Seth the Merchant that push up to the front to try to get him a win. So these guys have been doing it to each other probably over the past about 2 or 3 months here. Have really worked well together and giving each other the opportunity to win races. And this time, obviously, Seth the Merchant didn't give him the push for the win, but he ended up finishing in that 4th spot. But at least he gave him, for the majority of the race, they kept each other up there in the front. So great job by all these guys, and a huge shout out. We'll end up talking to him here in a moment. Justin Anderson coming home with that 3rd place.
And I think Christian Peterson is out of gas on the front straightaway. Good improvement for Seth the Merchant to get to the top 5. Altman's P5 on the night, DeMerchant 4th. So it'll be Peterson, DeMerchant, and Altman's in the transfer positions outside of tonight's race. The drivers that are going to have to race their way above the cut line in 2016 when we come back at it for the 2nd race of this round are going to be Rodney Wofford, Josh Hanner, and Josh Ball. Their fate still to be determined. The only driver that knows where he'll be in 4 weeks' time in the Supreme 3 round at Daytona is Christian Peterson. We'll talk to him amongst the rest of your top 3 finishers. We'll step away for a brief moment, come back and talk to your top finishers for feature race number 16 in just a moment. The LSRTV pre-race show on iRacing Live. We'll be back in a moment.
But here comes Gregor Hutu into Canada corner for the final time. Just 2 corners left to go before he finally makes himself a triumphant return back to victory lane. He has led 38 laps of this event here today, and Gregor Hutu once again is a winner. Gregor Hutu will work himself through the Cobra Parabolica. He will claim his 46th victory in iRacing.com World Championship competition. Gregor Hutu, for the 2nd race in a row, reigns supreme.
The one thing that I think is the most important is we've been racing this Ground Championship Series for quite some time now, a very long time even at that, and he is the only driver to have ever won a professional road race at Watkins Glen.
But there is nothing that could crack that finish #1 Team Redline driver. Gregor Hutu works himself out the final corner, and just as he did in 2010, 2011, 2012, 2013, 2014, in 2015, Hutu once again wins at Watkins Glen.
Hutu will come across the line and takes the win for round 7 here at Virginia International Raceway.
Here he comes now, just 3 corners left to go, into Brooklands for the final time, into Luffield for the final time. Never ever say that Gregor Hutu is beaten, because he just comes back bigger, he comes back stronger. He wins round #9 of the World Championship Series, 49th win of his career. If you're the world's greatest sim racing driver, you can do it with your statements on the road courses. Do it when it matters. Out of the final corner for the final time, number 50 for Gregor Hutu, out of the final corner. At the top of the broadcast, we said if Hutu could win here today, he could well cement himself as the championship favourite. Gregor Hutu, the #1 machine, back to victory lane, win number 51. Hutu is inching closer rapidly to his 5th, and yes, I say that correctly, his 5th World Championship. Out of the bus stop chicane comes the #1 Team Redline driver. Gregor Hutu will win here at Circuit Spa Francorchamps. Yes, you may be behind a computer with a steering wheel and a set of pedals, but for these drivers, this is as close as they may ever get to racing in real life. It will be Gregor Hutu coming past the line. He is a 5-time world champion. Gregor Hutu wins the championship one more time. He is the greatest driver in the history of open wheel racing here at iRacing.com, and dare I say it, he is the greatest open wheel champion in the history of sim racing.
We're back live at the Talladega Superspeedway, and the late race drama continues for the 2nd week in a row. A lot of contact, a lot of bent sheet metal, a lot of bent feelings, a lot of rulebook pages maybe bent as well. The race review going on as we speak, but the unofficial results from tonight's round 16, with the round 3 of 5 though on the chase, has Christian Peterson as your winner, Frank Busilia in 2nd, Justin Anderson in 3rd. So all the conversation is going to be about Peterson and Busilia. Mainly Peterson, though, the bigger driver because he's in the chase. Lost in all of this is a spectacular night for Justin Anderson. Coming home tonight, P3, after a good qualifying effort in P12. And you're down on the pit lane, Cisco, with him. I'm sure he's happy with that result.
Yeah, I've caught up with Justin Anderson driving the number 77 Orioles machine. And Justin, we didn't really talk much about you. You were just kind of lurking up there all race long. You're just kind of sneaking there, running around the 10th-ish range for most of the race. And then right at the end, bam, there you were, and you take home a podium. How's that feel?
It feels great. I was trying to save fuel to make it to the finish. We were really close. And then the seas kind of parted and everyone just wrecked out of the way.
Well, yeah, like I said, you were running up there, basically avoided any of the misfortune that went on around you, anything like that. And just talk us through your race. How was it out there?
It was nice. It was relatively uneventful. The past few weeks have been tough. So it was nice to have a race where, I could pick my lines inside, outside. Just found a comfortable space to run. Nice, quiet day. Great finish.
All right. Well, you finished P3 tonight. Great run for you. Who gets it done for you in the 77 team?
Dingleberry Motorsports, my sponsor, the Baltimore Orioles. They might not have a great season, but I am.
All right. Well, that's Justin Anderson. He finishes third tonight. And Andy is caught up down on the pit road with our second place finisher, Frank Busilia.
I am down here with the former champ of this series, Frank Busilia, driver of the 94 McDonald's Ford Fusion. And Frank, one spot too short here. You had a great car all race long, and in order to win these, you got to be up there to battle at the end, and you just fell a little bit too short.
Yeah, it was an interesting night, and after last week, really, it was kind of, no pressure, so, got to do whatever I needed to do to try to win the race, and that, it ended up saving gas, and I had enough to cross the line. It was just everybody else around us was running out too, so it was an interesting night. I know, especially with the finish, Rod's got a lot to look at too. So he's had two weeks in a row of last lap madness here in the league. So, but it was fun overall. It was a good night.
Yeah, that it was, and we talked about getting eliminated from the chase last week, and obviously now just 2 more races, not counting tonight. Basically the goal for you guys is just go out and win, steal some wins away from these championship contenders, right?
Oh yeah, and I got some personal goals. I want to, try to get. Never had an I-5 win before, so I'd like to get that. Now that this is my first top 5, I think, since I won my race in like week 3 or something. So, or somewhere around there. It's been a pretty down season, I'd say, for the most part. But you just got to keep digging every week, and I'm never gonna give up. You just got to run it and see where it all plays out.
Yeah, and that's basically how you have to do it at super speedway, and hopefully avoid the big ones. You were able to do that tonight. You put yourself in position to battle for the win, and you did that. Just fell up short. But congratulations again, Frank, on the second place finish. Sponsor shout outs. Anyone else you want to thank here?
Yeah, sure. First, always got to throw a shout out to the wifey for letting me sit in front of a computer with a steering wheel on Friday nights. Gotta thank her, of course. But y'all for broadcasting. Rod Flag, of course, for putting up with our stuff week in and week out, especially with these finishes the way they've been coming around. But it's it's into a good night. We'll see if we can get them next week.
All right, we thank you again, Frank. We'll see you in a couple weeks. Have a good Christmas.
Yep, thank y'all. You too. Have a good one.
There you have it. Second place finisher, the driver of the McDonald's Ford Fusion. He didn't have any McFlurries on there, Evan. He didn't get the win, but maybe he could still go out and celebrate anyway.
I'm looking for an excuse to do so. The driver that comes home just in front of him, though, wasn't sure if he was going to make it through and pushes his way through, and that car makes it to the start-finish line. And Christian Peterson, your unofficial winner at Talladega. I know you want to get really excited, Christian, because this win would, if it holds up, give you the ticket into the Supreme 3 round and guarantee you that you're going to be fighting for an iSuper Speedway Championship come January at Daytona. Unfortunately, I can't say that the race results are official as of this moment, and in fact, it's probably, in a 50-50 position at the moment. But you get the win. What about the backstretch there, on the last lap there? Because that's what the conversation is going to be about. Roddy and Lon on the outside of the racetrack behind the 41. Make a move to the middle. There was a little bit of contact with you, the 088 and the 41.
Yeah. I mean, it was kind of self-explanatory, I think. I mean, 2 laps to go, I think I was like 7th or something. We got going. I was just trying to save a little gas. I was hoping to be the guy with the most amount. At the end, maybe I could coast across, on fumes. But that last lap going down the backstretch, I was really trying to just push Pilon, but I noticed that he was kind of mirror driving a crazy ton, and I made a little move to the outside of him. He took that bait, and I went left. Thought I was committed inside, in the middle there, and then I thought the 41 reacted to my move, and we touched, and that sent me into the 088, and then he went down the infield, and, things went on from there. But, I mean, I thought it was a racing deal, but, again, Ryan was taking all the bait he wanted, or I could hand him, and I kind of just had to make the move there.
You got to do what you got to do in those situations, and I think despite the way, I guess no matter which way this goes down, I'm sure that you would much rather go for the win. You don't want it to get taken away by any means, and I can see your point in that, and I think it's a valid argument for you because you're going for a checkered flag. But I feel like you would much rather make that move and have it taken away than to sit there and watch the win go to somebody else. So you were making the move you had to do. You and Seth, though, I mean, you guys were very good all night. You come from 14th on the grid. Seth was 4th, but you guys found each other. He fell off there a little bit at the end, but if it's anything like the opening round and this stands up, you guys, I would expect to be working together for the next race of this round because you two, quite the dominant duo, and it showed again here tonight.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think this race was actually weird. Like this, for me, at least, I don't know about him. For me, it was weird. Like I didn't see him for a lot of the race. We connected a little bit in the middle there, like you said, maybe somewhat towards the end, and then yeah, like you said, he kind of fell off. But it was weird. I didn't see him a lot, and we were there for a minute, got going, and then we separated again. But yeah, next week for sure, we got to get him up there and get Rodney up there also.
That's the goal rolling forward. There's going to be 2 ways that the next race plays out. We know that, again, you're going to be working with Seth and your teammates and all of that to make sure that everybody can get a good run, and Rodney as well, trying to get into that top 3. I'm sure you guys would like to take the 3 spots in the Supreme 3 round. If you don't get the win, I know that you're still going to work with them, but I'm sure that changes the strategy to a point as far as how much you can help them, but to a point you're going to have to help yourself.
Are you talking about in the next race or the
For
final
the next,
race?
yeah, of this round, because if they take it away from you, they had, I mean, the 7 of Wofford, he was P12. Seth gets a P4. Depending, again, I don't know where you would end up in all of this. So I know you guys are going to work together. How much does that change if you don't have that safety, though, as far as what happens in the last 5 laps?
I mean, teamwork either way is going to be more dominant than if you don't have somebody to, be on your bumper, be that can back up to you and keep you up there. But, I mean, either way, we're still going to work together. I mean, yeah, next week it's more of, for me, trying to get Seth a W, or, not so much me getting the checkered flag, but if it does go the other way and they take it out of my hands, then, yeah, I'm going to be going for the checkered flag again for sure.
I'm not sure if it's much consolation, but it looked good from where we are up here on Topside, Christian. So I will congratulate you for the win. I do have to state unofficially, but congratulations on the win at Talladega. Congratulations, and hopefully for you this holds up going forward to the Supreme 3 round. A great race for you. It was a fun finish. It was a hell of a finish to watch. Who makes it happen for you? Who do you want to thank?
Everybody at 6 Man, Preston Pardis, P Money Designs, my family, my buddy Tyler, My parents, they're downstairs watching. My nephew, I think he's watching. Shout out to him. And yeah, that's about it.
All right, well, thanks for sticking around and chatting with us. I know you'll be talking with the team for the next couple of hours here, and hopefully we'll get a word relatively soon. When we do know, that information will be on our Facebook page at facebook.com/LiveSimRacingTV again. But Christian, congratulations on the W. It was hard fought. Hopefully you're going to get that bye to Daytona. We'll see you for the next race, though. Until then, you got a couple of off weeks, so have a good holiday season. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and we'll see you on the flip side.
All right, thanks, Evan. Thanks, Andy. See you guys.
Christian Peterson, your unofficial winner at Talladega, and it almost is becoming routine, guys, to have to throw the unofficial in there. These guys aren't making it easy on poor Rod. I feel bad for him in the trailer because the drivers are spitting their opinions, and it's our job to spit our opinions, and someone's going to be unhappy regardless. So I feel terrible for Rod for what he's got to go through last week and then this week as well. Christian Peterson going for the win. Again, we talked about it last week. When you're going for the win, you got to get physical. There was a lot of physical stuff going on out there. I really don't know, what we're going to see on the flip side, because the argument, I think, would be they're not looking at just the 71, by the way, at least from my understanding. There was a lot of contact in the trial. There was a lot going on. The argument is that the 71 initiates the contact on the back straightaway, which you can agree with because the first cars that touch is the 71 and the 088, but put a yellow line, Andy, right in the middle of the backstretch, right in between those two white hash marks, and that's Christian Peterson going to the bottom in the trial vote for the win, the 41 moving down to block, the 71 having to go lower, right? It's not the same thing, but that's kind of the way to look, that he was reacting. It's racing. It's hard to pick apart. It's racing. You got to feel for everybody. There's no right call and there's no wrong call here. It's unfortunate, though.
Yeah, it just, like you said, it just makes it so tough to, to put to try to answer that one and try to, have it make sense and make the right call. And that's what makes it tough on Rod to do. But, do you blame the 71 for going in the middle and pushing it 3 wide?
Absolutely not. I told him there's no way he sits there and says, I'll take a fourth. Because that's not him, especially a chase guy. That's not happening.
Well, right. And then, or do you blame the 41 for trying to come down to block? And I mean, that it wasn't a bad, rough contact there for by any means. It's just a matter of where it happened. And there was no room for the 088 to come back up on the track. And when he did, it was too late to, you're coming up in the corner there and you have to turn left. And at that speed, you just can't. And so it's tough. Honestly, you hate to see it for Connolly because it was
that would have been a feel-good win, as I said. Yeah, he was having a great race.
Yeah, so I don't know. It's a tough break. It's plate racing. I mean, you got at some point you got to realize it's a plate track racing, and there's nothing.
It happens. Yeah,
exactly. You're gonna have races that end like this. You're gonna have races that end like they did last week, and then you're gonna have other ones that just flat out, no, there's nothing to look at. The guys just for whatever reason can keep it off of each other and go 3 wide and come to the checkered line, 3 abreast, and we're talking about one of the closest finishes ever. So I mean, it is what it is, but we'll see what happens, and we'll just have to see what happens, and we got a couple of weeks now to enjoy the holidays and follow up on it and see what happens in a couple of weeks.
The drama continues in Cisco. I know your viewpoint is about 2 feet to my right-hand side, and the advantage of the whole sim thing is we got a whole bunch of angles, so we're not looking from the broadcast tower 2 miles to the backstretch. Again, it's racing, and it's plate track racing, and it's Pandora's box to an extent, because what happened last week with the penalty being upheld is going to dictate how this is viewed, because there was a couple of rules that got touched up, clarified, reworded to a description. But if you don't penalize somebody one time, then somebody can do it on purpose and then make it not look like on purpose. And then if they don't do it and it's an accident, but you penalize an accident, then there can be accidents at any point. It's just Like I said, I feel so bad for Rod. I feel bad for all the drivers now, especially Christian, who's got to sit there now not knowing if he can pop the champagne or not.
Well, yeah, and I mean, talking about just kind of, we're seeing this sort of desperation that we're kind of used to seeing in the Sprint Cup Series. Now, I don't want to say used to, but that's kind of what we're seeing now. Guys, they're trying to get to that front, get that win. We saw, I mean, if we were sitting here, Evan, and we didn't have eliminations, if we just had a normal chase, I don't see Christian Peterson trying to make it 3 wide going for the win. So is it a product of the championship style? Is it a product of just the racing? I mean, oh man, all I know is, I hate to say it, but I don't think this is the last time this is going to happen in this season.
We saw the whole Matt Kenseth and Joey Logano thing, and that's this format. This was the second season that we've seen the iSuperChase format. 3 seasons we've seen the iSuperChase total. For season 3, it was the regular iSuperChase, if you will, the older NASCAR Sprint Cup Series chase, where it was just the final 5 races to add up points. Last year we had the eliminations. We didn't quite see them like this. This is exciting. I mean, it's unfortunate to have to go to the rule book a lot to decide these races. You'd like the guys to do it on track. They did a hell of a job on the track tonight. But this is the 2015 NASCAR Sprint Cup Series chase that we're seeing. It's that you can't afford to not try. You have to try it. If it doesn't work, it sucks. You're going to be upset about it. Take the risk. If you have a 50-50 shot at winning the race or being penalized and sitting in 4th and maybe wrecking out next week, you're going to try it. You have to go for it. It's the mentality you have to take. And it's the second week in a row that we will leave you tonight, not officially knowing, Andy, who's going to get this one. But provisionally, Christian Peterson wins. He's into the Supreme 3.
Yeah, you know what? Honestly, I really think that even though it's similar to what happened last week, I almost think that it's really a totally different thing. So, like you said...
you're talking about like 10 guys within half a second bouncing off each other instead of, 3 guys single file.
Yeah, I mean, listen, there's going to be some beating and banging. There's going to be some, some feelings hurt. I don't know. It's just racing. It is what it is, and we'll just have to see how it plays out next week and or after Rod figures out how he's going to handle all this. But we'll see how it shakes up. But it should be fun either way. And and if Peterson doesn't get the win, then it's just going to mean he's got to race that much harder in a couple weeks to get it done again.
And I'm sure whatever decision is made, it'll be appealed by and then reviewed again. So, we don't know. But it'll be fun, looking forward to it. And that's quite the way to end the 2015 racing calendar for sure on this series. We have an off week on Friday. We have 2 off weeks on Friday. When was the last time we were off on a Friday? I don't know. But we got... And I feel like if we were on, like, Christmas Eve, then we would still be racing. But it's Christmas Day next Friday. It's New Year's Day the following Friday. So we're off for 2 weeks, and we'll see you on
Evan,
the flip
you didn't
side.
Hear? Oh yeah, we're covering 2 races the next 2 weeks. You didn't hear that? Yeah.
No off weeks. No overtime.
No. Actually, Andy and I get the off weeks. You don't. So.
Okay. We're putting us back to work. Well, I hope you guys enjoy your 2 off weeks. And these guys, why can't just not a chase guy win the race? And then the drama can be a little bit less. So there's a couple of chase guys that leave tonight knowing that they have to win the next race here at Talladega on the 8th. There's a couple of guys that don't know what's going on. And then the guys that aren't in the championship, or maybe a guy like a Rodney Wofford who was a P12, not the best finish, or 24 like a Josh Henry was a P13, not the best, but they know where they are. Maybe they can sleep easy for the next 2 weeks, and hopefully we'll have some more information for you soon. But until 2016, it's been a very fun 2015 with the iSuperspeedway.com racing series, iRock, the new Rod Car Truck Tour on Friday nights. Want to thank everybody, iRacing Live, for bringing us on Friday nights with these doubleheaders. It's been so much fun. We look forward to 2016. There's still 2 races to go in the season, and there's probably going to squeeze maybe 2 more seasons in after that in 2016. There's plenty of racing still to come. But the 2015 chapter of Friday night superspeedway action draws to a close. So with that, we'll bid you good night from the Talladega Superspeedway. On behalf of everybody at the Rodcar Truck Tour, at the iSuperspeedway.com Racing Series, the Rodcar Director Board, and everybody on the General Council, and everybody behind the scenes, because so many people go into this, we want to thank you so much for tuning in and being a part of this. Congratulations to Christian Peterson. He is your provisional Talladega winner. Gets a bye into the round of 3 to fight for a championship. Merry Christmas, everybody. Happy New Year, and happy 2016. We'll see you then.